Tonight, the Democrats sparred over the terrorist attack on France and whether America should lead an international coalition to destroy ISIS. And there were some sparks on domestic issues as well in the second Democratic presidential debate of the primary campaign. KCAL9 political reporter Bryan joins us now with more on the Democratic debate tonight on CBS in the early voting state of Iowa. Dave.
That's right, Andrea. You know, Hillary Clinton's challengers were on the attack tonight, something we haven't seen before. For much of tonight's debate, Hillary Clinton's two opponents rattled off a long list of criticisms on a variety of domestic issues. But first, the presidential candidates debated what role America should play if there's a campaign to attack and destroy the ISIS terrorists.
Together leading the world, this country will rid our planet of this barbarous organization called ISIS.
In the aftermath of the terrorist attacks on Paris, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders got the ball rolling as the three Democrats running for president disagreed on what America's role should be in a campaign to take on and defeat the ISIS terrorism machine.
We can bring people together, but it cannot be an American fight, so that we can be supportive, but this cannot be an American fight, although American leadership is essential.
But this actually is America's fight. It cannot solely be America's fight. America is best when we work in collaboration with our allies.
What we need to do is lead an international coalition which includes, very significantly, the Muslim nations in that region who are going to have to fight and defend their way of life.
Later, in a discussion of the national movement to increase the minimum wage, former Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley accused Clinton of taking too much advice from Wall Street operators.
But I think we need to stop taking our advice from economists on Wall Street and start taking advice.
When we talk about Wall Street,
economists.
When the topic turned to gun control, O'Malley characterized Clinton as a flip-flopper after Clinton went after Sanders on the same issue.
92% in the most recent poll of Americans want gun safety measures.
Absolutely.
And 85% of gun owners agree.
Yes.
We've got the consensus. What we're lacking is political leadership.
Yes.
And that's what you and others can start providing in the Senate.
Secretary Clinton, you've been on three sides of this. When you ran in 2000, you said that we needed federal robust regulations. Then, in 2008, you were portraying yourself as Annie Oakley and saying that we don't need those regulations on the federal level. So, John, there's a big difference between leading by polls and leading with principle.
For much of the night, in fact, her two opponents criticized Clinton on a variety of issues, like this from Sanders, who, like O'Malley earlier, questioned why Wall Street tycoons had contributed so much money to Clinton's campaigns over the years.
I have never heard a candidate, never, who has received huge amounts of money from oil, from coal, from Wall Street. These campaign contributions will not influence me. I'm going to be independent. Well, why do they make millions of dollars of campaign contributions? They expect to get something. Everybody knows that.
John, wait a minute.
Personal privilege.
He has basically used his answer to impugn my integrity. Let's be frank here. Oh, wait a minute, Senator. I represented New York, and I represented New York on 9/11. When we were attacked, where were we attacked? We were attacked in downtown Manhattan, where Wall Street is. I did spend a whole lot of time and effort helping them rebuild. That was good for New York, it was good for the economy, and it was a way to rebuke the terrorists who had attacked our country.
Well, with a large lead in the polls, some Democrats believe Hillary Clinton is invincible when it comes to winning the presidential nomination. So the attacks on her tonight could be construed as the desperation of candidates who are far behind in the polls, or candidates who sense she may be more vulnerable than it appears. Andrea?
Well, Dave, so which is it? Is Hillary vulnerable to attacks, or are her opponents just desperate?
You know, I hate it when my words come back to haunt me, okay? I think it's a little bit of each. Okay, I know that sounds political, but here's the deal. She is vulnerable, certainly on issues like the Wall Street connections. They have contributed liberally to her campaign, and she says she's the candidate of the working class and middle class, so there is room for criticism there, without a doubt. But by the same token, Sanders is 20 points behind in the latest CBS News and New York Times poll, and the former governor of Maryland, O'Malley, He's got 1/10 of the poll support that Hillary has. So, yeah, there's some desperation there as well.
Of course. Now, the candidates weren't very specific in addressing the issue of how they would respond to the terrorists in France. Do you think they were ducking the question there?
Well, I think in fairness, you have to realize it's only been 30 hours since this attack, and there's a lot to talk about and a lot of information still to come out. So, they're politicians, and so they're not going to go out on the edge of the mountain there on the brink at a time when, the things they say could turn out to be not applicable or not relevant to this. They said, two of the three of them said, America needs to lead this coalition against the ISIS terrorists and destroy them once and for all. We'll see, and hopefully they'll fill in the specifics in the later debate.